Hey guys, I'm Grestar, and how about we play more Crystalline? So last time we ended up going to the Earth Temple, and we got more energy from the Earth Spirit person. So yeah, as someone pointed out, by the way, the Earth Spirit, did they necessarily have a familiar? Not at least in the same sense as the Fire Lady with the Fire Foxes sitting there. I guess there were like birds around, so possibly, but it wasn't the same. So just in case anyone missed that tidbit, that is a tidbit. And anyway, let's just jump right back into it. The next day, Leanna and I get up bright and early. We decide to practice sparring before the others wake up. Or woke up, whatever. Our swords clash with I couldn't actually tell if it was an A or an O. Our swords clash with a score of heavy blows. Leanna forces me backwards with a huge grin on her face. I'm breathing hard and struggling to keep up as my brows knit in concentration. Leanna sweeps my blade aside and comes back around, but I swing in time to deflect it. Yay, her face brightens and she seems pleasantly surprised.
Wow, that's great! You're getting much better.
Go me. Okay, really? Leanna's grin turns devilish.
Hi-ya!
Oh no! My guard! She lunges and I let out a sharp cry, barely raising my sword in time. Her movements quicken as she strikes harder. I struggle to keep up, but I manage to hold my own. Ultimately, Leanna's final move knocks me to the ground. Well darn. I groan, blinking up at the sky. It's hard to breathe with the wind knocked out of me. Are our spars always going to end like this? Leanna's face appears over mine. She smiles brightly.
That was so much better.
Thank you. I lost yet again, though.
This time. But you're getting stronger and stronger every time.
I can believe that, yeah. That cheers me up a little. Leanna extends her hand and helps me up.
Let's switch gears. You've been doing really well with sparring, so we should practice your magic training. You need to learn to refine your cast.
That is very true. I know she's right, so I nod. Oh, I thought I was gonna disagree. I know she's right, so I nod. I'm feeling more confident about it now that I know I can cast. I think back on the countless previous training sessions and the frustrations that came with it. Even though I know I still have much to learn before I reach anywhere near Leanna's level, I'm just glad to be past those early stages.
Alright, practice channeling your energy through your manipulator. And this time, keep your focus on where you want to cast.
On where I want to cast? Oh, okay. Skirts and updrafts go perfectly together. Focus on a rock. Float the pongo! I don't think that I should be focusing my early magic attempts on any living being, so I'm gonna focus on a rock. My attention lasers in on a nearby rock. How do I want to do this? What? Power underwhelming. I close my eyes and focus. That familiar energy trickles down my arm. Wind spirals from my gauntlet, but I can't seem to summon enough. The rock levitates just barely off of the ground. My arm shakes with effort to keep it there. Leanna sends out a whoosh of air, strong and calm. The rock lifts up a little higher. She smiles.
That's better. You're doing well. You just need to focus on summoning more energy.
But not overwhelming amounts. Leanna looks around and points at a large rock.
Try again on this rock.
Because I would have to summon more energy if I wanted to affect that rock. I take a deep breath, clearing my mind, and cast again. As usual, a solid gust of wind bursts forth and I steadily float the rock in the air. Oh, go me. Leanna claps her hands together, a wide grin on her face.
Yes, that's it.
Hey, I'm doing it! That's right, Pongo. I'm awesome. The Pongo glances at the floating rock curiously. In one motion, he jumps right onto the rock. The movement startles me and the rock jolts in midair. Hang on, buddy. The Pongo wobbles precariously and I can feel the nerves set in again as I fight to steady the rock.
It's okay. Don't panic. Just keep your focus. Try to float them towards you.
Okay. Alright. It's just heavier now, so I had to adjust my energy output. Heavier because of the Pongo? Because I wouldn't think Pongo's weigh much. I breathe in and out and refocus. The rock stops swaying.
Good. Keep going.
A strong breeze wisps around the Pongo, keeping him in place. I close my eyes and picture him floating closer.
You got this.
I open my eyes. The rock with the Pongo floats closer and closer. A huge grin blooms across my face. It's working! The Pongo jumps from the rock onto my head. As soon as the Pongo touches me, I lose my concentration and drop the rock. Alright. Well, I tried. Leanna giggles.
Great job.
The Pongo wiggles on top of my head. Thanks for being a good sport. Leanna giggles as I pat the Pongo.
Boy, boy. I think that's enough training for today. You've made great progress.
That was very minimal magic training, but I'll take it. Thanks. I can feel the fatigue start to set in, and I'm grateful to Leanna for ending the session.
Let's go rejoin the group.
Yeah, they should all be awake by now, I think. Leanna nods, and the three of us return to camp. As I predicted, everyone else is awake and even have breakfast prepared. Is it smart to have all the training sessions like right in the morning? I mean, if it's gonna exhaust you for the rest of the day, like maybe it'd be better to do it at night? I don't know. Though then again, I think they're doing one in the morning and the evening, because it was at night when we had where we actually first cast, right? Where Leanna attacked us. After we eat and clean up camp, we resume our journey. After a couple of days travel, I gotta say, that needs an apostrophe to be possessive. Because if you're gonna phrase it like that, like the travel belongs to the couple of days. So it's after a couple of days, apostrophe, travel. We continue to journey along the path when I notice thick clouds darken the sky. Pretty sure that's how it works. Kara and Leanna cast worried glances above as a loud crack of thunder roils above. You don't have two aboves like that. They both make sense, but having the same word in that repetition, like, unless it's intentional repetition, and even then, like, it needs to be better than this, like, it just sounds awkward.
This does not look promising.
We should find shelter. We don't want to be caught in this storm.
Amelia cross-references where we are with Elderism's notes.
We are still quite a ways from Ellendale.
Then we'd better stop at the next city we see.
And hope there's no trouble brewing there.
I have an idea of where we are. If I recall correctly, Wolfston should only be a few hours' travel. We can stop there.
Same thing here with a few hours travel. Just with that phrase, like the travel or whatever, it belongs to the hours. I'm pretty sure that's how that phrase is supposed to work. Once agreed, we pick up the pace to combat the strengthening wind whipping at us and make course for Wolfston. Eventually, we see the tall towers of Wolfston. We shuffle through the city gates, casting worried glances at the ominous sky. The turbulent clouds don't look any less threatening. People keep their heads down as they push past each other on the streets. They must be looking for shelter from the storm. I look at the surrounding buildings. Most are storefronts which blend into each other as if trying to stay as inconspicuous as possible. As we travel deeper into the town, a few opulent buildings loom in the sky. I guess that's where the better half lives. Aw. Leanna shifts uncomfortably.
Is it just me, or are people staring at us?
Looking around, I notice all the furtive glances towards Leanna as people give us a wide berth in passing.
No, they're staring at you.
Zach's comment seems to make her even more anxious. Try to keep her hidden. Who wouldn't stare? She should ignore them. Yeah. Don't pay attention to them.
That's not going to stop them from paying attention to me.
Yeah, I know, but that just it doesn't matter. Try not to think of it as mattering. But I mean, like, if I tried to keep you hidden and people noticed you, there'd be even more reason to stare.
It's no surprise everyone is staring at her.
Yeah, right? All these criminals running about. I give Kara a questioning look. And what sort of town is it?
Let's just say that what happens in Wolfston stays in Wolfston.
Leanna covers the sigil on her manipulator with one hand.
Maybe this isn't the best place for me to be advertising that I'm a part of the Mage Guild.
I agree. Zach nods.
Agreed. You're making them nervous.
The stairs remind me of when I first arrived in Meadowhill. Should we find you a change of clothes to blend in more?
That is a satisfactory suggestion, but perhaps it should be executed without the presence of Leanna. The longer she is in the streets, the more attention she draws.
That does make sense.
Good point. Let's hurry up and find the inn. Leanna can stay there, and I'll help her find a more suitable outfit.
Okay. Maybe, like, Zach should stay with her? As the winds pick up, more people creep out of shadowed alleyways as they seek shelter. I instinctively check my pockets. Something about this place has me on edge. Leanna is equally anxious. While Amy's expression doesn't change, she does seem more alert than usual. Only Zach and Kara seem unaffected. Before long, we reach the inn. I let out a relieved breath as the fire crackling in the hearth warms me. Kara and Zach go to secure us rooms and food, as the rest of us sit down in a secluded back corner. Although the lobby is full of people, it's more quiet than the other inns we frequented. Most patrons drink alone, and those in groups murmur softly, trying not to draw attention to themselves. We aroused a few curious glances when we walked in, but once we shuffled out of sight, people relaxed and forgot about us. The silence grows stifling as both Leanna and Amelia wait for the rest of the group to come back. As I'm wondering if I should say something, Leanna addresses Amy.
There's something that I've been wondering since Hearthpoint, but I haven't had a chance to ask.
Amy shifts her attention to Leanna.
Your mother mentioned that it's taken you a while to get a field study approved.
Yes, that is correct. I understand that such things take time as professors want to ensure the study is a proper fit for the student, but I will admit that I am beginning to become impatient.
I believe it. She sighs.
Was the process for your field study equally taxing?
Leanna shakes her head.
No, I actually got the first one I applied for.
Amy blinks, then her eyes grow wide.
You were accepted upon your first application?
Yeah,
She stares at Leanna.
maybe the process is different for Mage Knights and Mage Casters.
Amy continues to stare. Leanna looks at me and I shrug.
Amy?
I do not understand.
Aw, sad Amy.
I have completed all the prerequisites necessary to apply for a field study. I have even attended supplementary training to increase my potential for the selection. For all intents and purposes, I should be the most ideal candidate for the mandatory field study.
That's fair.
Is it just your professor's recommendation that you need?
Correct, but I have been repeatedly told that the field study is not a good fit for me.
Leanna rests her head in her hand as she thinks.
Do you think it has something to do with your age?
Amy frowns.
My age should not be an eligibility factor. I have proven myself to be capable enough to study as a mage caster.
True enough.
This is pretty strange. And they haven't given you a specific reason why you keep getting declined?
Amelia shakes her head.
I am quite perplexed by the situation, especially now that I understand my difficulties are not standard.
I can feel the frustration behind her words. It sounds like the Academy has it out for her, and I think she's only just started to realize that she's being treated differently. You should talk to your professors. I think it's an age issue. That sucks. I'm sure she's already done that, so I'm just gonna sympathize. I don't really know what to say in these kinds of situations. I don't know how their academy works, so I don't have any input to add. Usually when people vent, they just want someone to be sympathetic, right? That's typically the case for me. I don't want people to try to fix my problems because my problems can't be fixed that easily. If they could, I would have fixed them. You know, if I'm complaining, it's because it sucks and I just want people to acknowledge that. Well, that sucks. Hopefully you'll get one soon. Leanna smiles encouragingly.
I'm sure you will.
Amy looks pensive as the conversation dies down. I mean, like, I understand where fixing things comes from, and like, you know, when people vent to me, like, I often try to offer suggestions too, but, you know, in a way, it's almost a little condescending because it's like, you're going to assume that they haven't already thought of that they haven't tried that or something. You know, like, maybe you should talk to your professors. Well, yeah, Riz, what do you think I've been doing the past year? Like, you know? Anyway, Kara and Zach soon return with bowls of food, which we quickly eat. As we push our empty bowls away, Kara drops a key into Leanna's hand.
Okay, so here's a key to our room. You can go upstairs and lay low for the rest of the night. I'll go check the shops and grab an outfit for you.
You can trust Kara's taste in clothing. She winks. She winks at Leanna.
Don't worry, it'll still be cute.
Zach silently hands me a key for our room. What about the storm?
Oh, I'll be okay. Zach will come with me.
Oh, you'll be fine then. Zach crosses his arms.
I didn't agree to this.
Kara feigns hurt.
You mean to say that you would let a young woman venture outside into the storm, in the middle of the night, in a dangerous city all on her own?
Zach's eyebrow twitches, but he tries to remain steadfast.
Guilt tripping me won't work.
Also, wait, hold on. Yeah, there's no apostrophe for Zach's. That's dumb. Alright, anyway. I just caught sight of that like last second.
Who knows what sort of ruffians are walking the streets this late? If they were to get the jump on me, then...
Poor Kara.
Okay, fine. I'll go with you. Jeez.
He pushes himself to his feet. Kara grins widely.
I knew you'd come around.
I'm only doing this so you can't blame anything on me later.
Kara smiles and drags Zack with her as they head towards the doors.
We'll be back soon.
We watch them exit in silence.
Well, I'm gonna call it a night.
As will I.
It is getting pretty late, and the thought of a real bed is very tempting after having to camp out for so many nights. I think I'll turn in too. Together we head upstairs, then split into our separate rooms. I relax in my bed for a while, enjoying the peacefulness of the night as I wait to fall asleep. The Pongo mysteriously emerges from somewhere and hops onto my bed. He bounces over and leans against me before finding a comfortable spot on my bed to sleep. I'm not sure how much time passes, but I eventually hear Zack return to the room and go to bed. I fall asleep not too long after. So they didn't need the Pongo tonight for experimentation. They're good on that front. Muffled steps in the hallway pull me awake. Blinking my eyes, I look around. The sun struggles to shine through the overcast sky, making it hard to determine just what time it is. Judging by the noise from outside, I'm guessing it's well into the late morning or early afternoon. Zack's bed is empty while the Pongo snores softly by my feet. He wakes up as I carefully crawl out of bed and after blinking bleary eyes, grins widely at me.
Hi.
Good morning. Or I guess, good afternoon. Yawning widely, I push myself completely out of bed and get ready for the day. For once, we don't have an agenda we need to follow while in this town. I thought that was going to continue. For once, we don't have an agenda we need to follow while in this town. I wonder what the others are up to and what this city has to offer. Ready to go downstairs? The Pongo shies away and buries himself in my blankets.
Boy.
Huh, that's a weird reaction. Is it though? You don't want to go exploring today?
Boy.
He's quite comfy. The Pongo shakes his head. I'll just make sure. I peel back the blankets until he pokes his head free. You okay?
Boy.
He grins at me and looks a little more like his cheerful self. Okay, good. Well, I'm going to go downstairs. You sure you don't want to come? He looks uneasy again and submerges back into the blankets.
Boy.
I guess he just doesn't like it here. Leaving the Pongo alone, I exit my room and head for the stairs. Before I reach them, I hear a strange noise coming from above. Is there an attic in this place? Nope, I'm seeing horror films. If you want to stay alive, you don't go towards the suspicious noise. I am noping right on out of there, or out of here. Also, it's an inn, and there could just be extra rooms up there. And I wouldn't just be like, oh sorry, I heard banging, are you guys okay? You know. Ignoring the noise, I go downstairs, where hopefully I find the others. The lobby is as busy as it was the night before, with the same number of people filling the tables. I spot Zack exactly where I expected him to be, right in front of the bounty boards. Kara nurses a drink alone at one of the tables, this early, but I don't see Leanna or Amy anywhere. I bet Leanna's in a room, find Amelia, talk to Zack, talk to Kara, good for now. Talk to Kara, let's see what's up. I plop down at the table across from Kara. She raises an eyebrow as I sit. Hey, Kara.
Hey.
She looks amused as she takes a sip of her drink. Got any exciting plans today? She shrugs. Yeah, same here. There's got to be something more exciting to do. What do you think? A sly smile spreads across her face. She throws back her drink and slams the empty mug on the table.
I think I know exactly what we should do.
What should we do, Kara? I'm not sure I trust that look. What does she have planned? What do you have in mind?
We're going to go gambling.
Alright! No thanks. Maybe we could do something more alone. I'm feeling lucky today. Alright, let's do it. I've been lucky so far, and I don't think that luck's going to run out anytime soon. I'm in. Kara nods approvingly.
I had a feeling you'd like my suggestion. Let's go then.
Okay, cool. I follow Kara out of the inn. The streets are deserted as the clouds roil overhead. I glance cautiously at the sky, but Kara remains unconcerned as she surveys the shops along the streets. Finally, she stops in front of a gaudy building. Bright crystals illuminate the sign as they flash distractingly on and off. This place stinks out, This place sticks out like a sore thumb. Kara grins as she pushes open the doors. Sometimes a lot of the reading has to do with prediction. And so, you know, if I'm thinking like, this place stinks of like bad intent or whatever, you know, I could read words like that. But yeah, I follow her in and blink as my eyes adjust to the dim room. Even if I hadn't known where we were going, I would have instantly recognized this place as a casino. Half of the room is lined with flashy slot machines powered by mini crystals, while the other half is filled with tables. Both players and onlookers crowd around the tables. In fact, the casino is packed with people. Clearly, the storm is not enough to keep these people away from their games.
So, see anything you like?
She gestures at the tables. You pick. She weaves among the tables, taking cursory glances at each game before deciding.
Have you played Shadow Knaves?
How do you play?
The goal is to reach a numerical value of 21
Oh.
with the cards you're dealt.
Okay, then yeah.
You'll start with 2 cards, and you could choose to add cards or stand depending on what you have.
That's blackjack. Oh, I know this game. We have a version of it back home.
Perfect! Then you'll be a pro.
No, I'm familiar with the game, but I suck.
Ready to play?
Yes. I'm ready to win. Not yet. Oh, you know what? Yeah. Attitude City. In response, I sit down at the table and place my bet. Kara grins and does the same. After the remaining seats at the table are filled, the dealer begins the first round. He slides 2 cards face up. Although the numbers look the same, the suits of these cards are unfamiliar. I have what looks like a 7 of crystals and a 9 of, swirly dots? Looking around the table, my competitors have a total of 18, 13, 7, and 20. Oh, balls! Well, I mean, the odds of me getting exactly 3 are not high. I'm gonna stand. I can't win with this hand, but at least I haven't bust. I better not risk it. I stand. Kara wins this round on her next hit, as her next hit brings her to 21, of course. I play a couple more rounds before bowing out. That's it! That's it! Well, that was boring. Kara somehow is the blackjack master and pretty much kills it every round. Some of the scowls on the other patrons deepen, and I'm glad I'm not a part of the game. They do not look happy at losing all that money. I browse a few of the other tables and recognize the Terra versions of craps and roulette. It's funny how we have fairly similar games, although I suppose not too unexpected, considering we're fairly similar worlds. Gambling is gambling. I return to the blackjack table just in time to see Kara abruptly stand.
Time to go.
Are we in trouble? But what about trying... Kara has a grin plastered on her face as she shakes her head.
Maybe next time, but I think we've had enough gambling for one day. It's time to cash out.
I'm looking over her outfit, trying to decide where she would hide cards. But where would she hide cards? Not even one more game?
Really, it's about time we get going. Trust me.
I believe you. She doesn't seem like she'll let up. I shrug and follow her, as dense as always. After cashing out, Kara hastens out of the casino. I jog to catch up to her. Something weird is going on. So, what was that all about? You know what? That's cute, but you can't distract me. Why were you in such a hurry to leave? She smiles innocently.
It was just time for us to go.
Uh-huh. You were totally up to something shady, weren't you?
I don't know what you mean.
Sure, I bet you were counting cards. Like some sort of mathematician. Kara blinks.
Oh, you noticed?
Wait, what?
What?
That's being resourceful. That's really impressive. You're using your skill set to up the odds in your favor. Kara seems pleased.
Thank you. I'm happy you understand.
I give credit where it's due. Besides, it's not like that giant business will miss the money anyway.
It's true.
Yeah.
There are a few people I could think of who could put that money to better use.
Like children without parents. You mean like orphans? Hey, look at me. Kara whips her head around and stares at me with wide eyes. More specifically, those orphans back at Stonecrest?
How'd you know about that?
I saw you there. I wanted to share my money with them too. Her expression softens.
You gave them money too.
I nod. I felt bad for them.
Yeah. They were just trying to survive in the only way they knew how.
I wasn't expecting this to come
I
up.
thought if I
That's
shared
cool.
my reward with them, maybe they'll find a way where they won't need to steal again.
Well, now I feel guilty only giving a portion of my reward. She laughs.
Your heart was in the right place.
Yep. So, what should we do now? A mischievous grin spreads across her face.
Let's go to another casino.
Okay, how many can be in this town? I laugh, this can only be trouble. I follow her to another casino where we go through the same routine. After winning big again, we part ways and I head back to the inn. Well, I guess I still have time. Let's talk to Zach. I approach Zach at the boards. Hey. He glances at me, then nods in acknowledgement. See anything good?
Yes, actually.
I look at the boards and let out a breath of surprise. Whereas most of the boards at the inn only have a few flyers pinned at a time, this board is covered in wanted posters. Whoa, that's a lot of bounties. Zach grins.
Check out the payout on these things.
He points to a poster of a scarred man with a grizzled face and deep frown. Underneath his mugshot lists a number with more zeros than what has ever existed in my bank account. Too real. Dang. Zach nods. I can't help myself as I continue to scan the board, taking note of the offered bounties. Zach grins as he throws my words back at me.
See anything good?
I'll stick to my day job, point to a hot wanted woman's bounty. All the money! I point to one of the highest offered rewards. That looks pretty tempting to me.
Yep.
All the mercenaries should just come to Wolf's Den and check out the bounty board here.
A lot of them do.
Really?
Why do you think this inn is so full?
I look around the inn again. That would explain why so many patrons are just people drinking alone. One such man pushes himself unsteadily to his feet and sways over to the board. He leans in until his nose is nearly touching one of the posters, then nods in satisfaction. As he's about to stumble away, he pauses when he sees Zach. He stares at him for an uncomfortably long time.
Hey, don't I know you?
Drunk man! No space, just drunk man! Zach barely bats an eye.
No.
The drunk is undeterred and comes closer. He peers at Zach again, trying to get his eyes to focus. Zach steps back as the man nears. Suddenly, the man straightens up excitedly.
No way. You're the Death Slinger.
He slings death? Death Slinger? The death slinging slasher. At the mention of the name, the inn falls silent. Then, tendrils of whispers begin to snake around us.
You're mistaken.
Zach's expression is stonier than usual, but the drunk is unfazed. Correct, good job.
I never thought I'd see you here. But it makes sense. Everybody makes it to Wolf's Den sooner or later.
Right?
You have the wrong guy.
Oh snap, he's gonna kill a man! The drunk squints and shakes his head.
It must be you. The trench coat, scar over one eye.
The whispers increase into hurried murmurs as all eyes fall on us. The drunk thinks for a second.
But do you have purple dischargers too?
He does! He does! He reaches towards Zach's holstered dischargers, but Zach smoothly steps away.
If I were the Death Slinger, would you really want to piss me off?
Zach's icy warning causes the inn to fall silent again. The drunk sways precariously as the muddled gears in his head turn. Then understanding finally dawns.
Oh, right. I'll leave you alone. Sorry.
He's still just so casual about it, though. As the man stumbles back to his table, Zach sits down at an empty table in the corner. I silently follow, feeling the weight of everyone's gaze. When I sit down, Zach glares at the people around us, which causes them to quickly turn back to their tables and resume whatever they were doing. Many of them seem suddenly very interested in their drinks. Zach doesn't seem inclined to talk, but the silence is stifling. That was weird, right? That was pretty weird.
Don't pay attention to him. It's just a random drunk.
Yeah, probably meant nothing. The innkeeper walks over and places 2 drinks on the table. Zach looks at him and he quickly speaks.
On the house, we don't want any trouble here.
Zach nods and takes a sip from one of the drinks.
Thanks.
A look of relief washes over the innkeeper's face as he walks away. Gradually, life returns to the inn as people lose interest in us. So, who exactly is the Death Slinger?
He's a mercenary.
Most mercenaries don't silence an entire inn at the mention of their name. That I know of.
You're right.
He takes another drink. Just that. He takes another drink. I wait for him to continue, but he doesn't. I don't think I'll be getting any more out of it. Any more! 2 words! Ah! Out of him now. Since things have begun to feel more normal, I relax a bit and take a sip of my drink. Zach and I quietly finish the rest of our drinks. Although his stony frown has lessened, I think it'd be best to give him some space. I say my goodbyes and leave the table. I'll go for Leanna. Leanna seemed pretty nervous last night. I wonder if she's still in her room. Making my way back upstairs, I knock on her door. After a moment, her voice calls out. I wonder what her new outfit is like and if it'll actually affect her, like, appearance here.
Who is it?
It's me.
Oh, hey.
Hi! There's a silence as I wait for her to open the door, but she doesn't. Is everything okay?
Yep. Everything's fine.
Okay, now I really want to see what the outfit is. Okay. She sounds really distracted.
Sorry, I'm a little busy right now. Amy and I are kind of in the middle of something. Do you think you can come back later?
Do you think you'll come back later? Ah, so that's where Amelia is too. Sure, sorry to disturb you. She doesn't answer. That was kind of weird. I hope she isn't annoyed with me. I better leave her alone for now and check in later if I have time. I decide to spend the rest of my time alone. I relax at one of the tables by myself, observing the people and enjoying my free time. It's not too often that I can have some alone time, and with the storm outside, I'm entitled to feel a little lazy. Why don't I go like snug with the Pongo again? Cue outro, go!